Seed to plant. Plants have a life cycle, just like we have a life cycle. We're born and we grow. Seeds have a life cycle too. A seed is planted, and then there's different stages, just like we go from a baby to a toddler to a young child, like everybody in our class, right? We're all 4 and 5. You're all 4 and 5 year olds, and then you become a preteen and a teenager and an adult, and then you become old. So just like we have a life cycle, plants have a life cycle. I want you to think back to when we learned about water. Water was a cycle. It was a water cycle, right? It went around and around and around. It started out as precipitation, rain falling to the ground. Then the rain, the water evaporated and became tiny, so tiny you could barely see it if you see it at all. And it would become so light, it would become a gas and it would float back up into the clouds where it would get cold again, which was called condensation. And then it becomes either raindrops or snow, and it falls to the earth again. So just like that was a cycle that went around and around and around, the cycle of a plant is the same thing. Cycle. It goes around. It starts here, becomes something else, becomes something else, becomes something else, and then goes back to a seed. So let's learn a little bit about seed to plant. What is a plant? A plant is a living thing. It stays in one place, but it grows and changes just like you. Plants can be big or small. Some have flowers. Others also grow fruit. Trees are plants too. So here, these are tangerines. So it's a tree. Tangerines grow on a tree. Here is a flower, right? This is an orchard. An orchid. Ferns, which don't grow flowers, but they have leaves, lots of leaves. And a water lily. Here is the leaf of the water lily. Here is the flower of the water lily. Plants are a big part of our world. Farmers grow fruits and vegetables. These plants give us food. Some plants can be used to make clothing. Your t-shirt could be made from cotton plants. See, these are cotton plants. Other plants are cozy homes for trees. So here's a bear who's made its home in the hollow of a tree. And this is a farm where they can grow maybe wheat that they use to make bread, or corn, or fruits or vegetables. Parts of a plant. You can use your body to remember the parts of a plant. You have arms, like that could be like leaves. Your body is like a stem. Your feet are like roots, and your head is like a flower. Roots hold the plant in the ground. The stem helps the plant stay up straight. Leaves soak up the sunlight. So here's our roots that grow down, our stem that grows up, our leaves, and then our flower or fruit. How does a plant begin? Let's dig in. Most plants start as seeds. Different plants have seeds that look different from other plants. The seed splits open, a shoot pushes out. This is called germination. It's a tough word, right? Can you say it with me? Germination. That's when the seed starts to grow its roots. A new plant is beginning. A seedling starts to grow. Roots reach down into the soil, and a stem pushes up into the air. So here we have the seed, right? The roots are down. The stem grows up. The leaves grow out. And it just keeps getting bigger. And then if there's going to be a flower and or fruit, that will grow as well. Just like you, a plant grows bigger and bigger. The roots spread out and down into the soil. The stem gets thicker and stronger. More leaves and branches grow. What do plants need? Plants need soil, water, food, sunlight, air, and space. I don't mean outer space. I just mean space to grow. Water and some food come from the soil. The roots soak them up. So here's the roots of a tree, and the roots will carry water and food up to the stem, which will then bring it to the leaves, as well as flowers or fruit, if there's flowers or fruits. Sunlight and air enter through the leaves. Plants use them to make more food. Plants also need room to grow. Flowers bloom. Many plants grow flowers. They start as a bump called a bud. The bud slowly opens and the petals gently unfold. Surprise! It's a flower. Flowers make a sticky powder called pollen. Pollen sticks to birds and bees when they fly from a flower. Then the pollen rubs off on other flowers. This is called pollination. It helps flowers make seeds. Wow, that's another big word. Can we say that together? Pollination. So if you see all this yellow sticky stuff on the bee, that's pollen. And flowers count on bees and birds and other animals to spread their pollen to other plants so that the flower can make seeds. Plants keep seeds in different places. It really depends on the plant. Many plants grow a case around the seeds. The case is called a pod. Peas and maple tree seeds grow in pods. So here we have pea pods, and we see the peas inside, which if we cook them, we can eat, right? Although you can also eat raw pea pods. These are the seeds. So while we can eat these particular seeds, we can also plant them and grow them. These are the seeds from a maple tree. So I'm sure you've seen these kind of seed pods on the floor in the fall, because they fall from the tree and they spread around, and that's how new maple trees grow. But inside here, that's the seed. So it's not this whole thing that's the seed. If you were to open this up, there'd be a little seed, almost like that, looks a little bit like this. And that's the seed that would grow a new maple tree. Orange seeds are different. Their seeds are on the inside. So if you open up an orange to eat an orange, we can find seeds that could grow another orange tree. These are not seeds that we eat. They won't really hurt us, but they're not tasty. Also, berry seeds are on the outside. And actually, when we eat a strawberry, we're eating the seed too. So the little tiny parts inside the strawberry, you can see them if you look at the strawberry and they have little indents into the strawberry. Those are the seeds. So it's part of what we eat when we eat a strawberry, but it's also what we can plant to grow new strawberries. Now the seeds take a trip. Some float on the wind, others are carried away by animals. The seeds fall to the ground. Soon they sprout or germinate. Do you remember that word? And a new plant begins. So here's a dandelion, and we see these little brown things shooting out of it are seeds to make a new dandelion. Pass the plants, please. People and animals eat plants to stay healthy. So here we have a person eating a watermelon, and a watermelon is a fruit that comes from a plant. And here we have a panda eating bamboo, which is kind of like a grass. It grows tall and woody. And panda bears love them. They're yummy food for pandas. So we have so many different kinds of flowers and plants, and they almost all start from a seed. So let's draw a picture of the life cycle of a sunflower. So what do we have first? What's the first thing we need to grow a sunflower? That's right, we need seeds. So I'm going to draw some sunflower seeds. And let's spell it. Seeds. From the seeds, we plant them in soil. We water them. We make sure they have sunlight. And what will start to happen is what happens next, what grows out of the seed? A root, right? The root grows down. So here is our root. Let's spell root. From the root, right? We have our roots that grow down, and a stem grows up, and then sometimes you can still see the seed at the top of the stem, the seed casing, right? It's the hard shell of the seed that we sometimes see. This is called a sprout. Sprout. Okay, it's like a small, it's not a plant yet. It's starting to become a plant. Then next is the baby plant. So we have our roots down in the ground, and we have our stem, and you'll start to see leaves grow out of the stem. So let's make these look more like leaves, because right now they look like roots growing out of the top of the plant, and we know roots grow down, not up. And this is a baby plant. And then it starts to grow a little bit bigger. So again, we have our roots that grow down, our stem that grows up, our leaves that grow out, and then to be an adolescent plant or a teenager, right? The flower starts to grow. Let's see if I can find a yellow crayon to make the start of my sunflower. It's not big yet. It's not fully grown. It's still a little small, but this is called an adolescent plant. Then, as it grows bigger and stronger, again, we have our roots that grow down, our stem that grows up, and sunflowers get really tall, and our leaves that grow out, and our sunflower. And in the middle of our sunflower, the seeds grow. So when it's full, when the sunflower reaches its biggest size that it's going to, we call it an adult plant. But the adult plant doesn't stay around for very long, right? We maybe have it towards the end of the summer and through some of the fall before it starts to die. But when it dies, all the seeds can grow into new plants. And then we start all over again. So this is the life cycle of a sunflower plant. Each plant's life cycles are similar. It starts as a seed, it takes root, it becomes a sprout, and then the plant grows until it reaches its adult size. Then it dies, and it sends new seeds into the environment to create a new plant. And it keeps going round and round and round. And this is the life cycle of a plant, in this case, a sunflower.